We are right now watching the book of Revelation play out all over the planet right now. In our headlines, on our phones, on our laptops, on our TVs. We are watching prophecy unfold straight from our couches, every single one of us. Most of us probably don't want to acknowledge that or not seeing it for whatever reason due to their domestic problems, financial struggles, or whatever. But I think more and more every day, I think every one of us is coming to the realization that there's definitely something going on right now. It's not normal. What we're seeing is not seasonal. It's not typical. People, we're watching the Bible unfold right in front of us. And this is coming from a person who has not lived a Christian or model life. I mean, if anybody needs grace and redemption, it's definitely me. So I'm not preaching to you. I'm just saying, let's really kind of wake up and recognize what it is that we're seeing. The correlation with all these end time prophecies in the book of Daniel and Revelation, and there's other books too that hint at these things. The absolute precision that we're seeing being laid out right in front of us is undeniable if you really let yourself look at it. If you really pay attention, it's undeniable. And look, man, I'm not being woo-woo to you. I'm not trying to, become, your pastor or your mentor. I don't have the insight for that. I don't have the authority for that. Like I said, I'm just one of you. But I'm not too proud or foolish to ignore what we're seeing. I mean, it's definitely profound what we're watching here. And I, for one, and many more people, but I, for one, am absolutely convinced that we are watching the end. We're at the end right now. I mean, just to name a few, think of the prophecies that have either already unfolded or in the process of unfolding right now. Like, well, look at the Euphrates River. That's very prophetic. It says it will dry up in the end days, paving the way for the kings of the east to come and wage war. The Euphrates River right now is almost dried up. I mean, for thousands of years, that river was like this lifeline for, that area over there in the Middle East. It's just now drying up. It's almost there. It's almost all the way dried up right now. That's just one. I mean, given that alone, we can say climate change or just the changing of, the landscape. Sure. Then we have what we're watching unfold on the news right now, these wars. And yes, we've had wars. It's easy for people to dismiss things like this because sure, we've had wars, but not what we're seeing right now and the implications of this war. This war is about to get very broad. I mean, global. I mean, we're watching that unfold right now. I mean, it's just some weeks, if not, maybe months away from being an absolute global conflict, World War III. That is what we're watching unfold right now. And the countries, the regions and the countries that are, the big players in this war and soon to be players in this war, they're all mentioned in that end time prophecy. And it's happening just like it said it would. I mean, again, me personally, I find it undeniable. I find it actually foolish to not see or accept what we're seeing as being nothing short of prophecy unfolding right now. And we're living in those days, people. I mean, we are that generation that will see this come to pass. We've all pretty much, especially in the West, we've all heard these prophecies from somebody. Our grandmothers, our aunts, the crazy neighbor. Somebody has alluded or at least mentioned these things to us. So we all know what we're seeing, I think, if you really look at it. If you really, suspend any kind of skepticism or disbelief or whatever it is that you think if you can just push that to the side for a minute, just throw it to the curb and really pay attention to what's happening, I'm not sure that anybody can come up to another conclusion, one that makes sense, one that is based in another reality. I think we're watching the end of the human story. Other prophecies, look at this board of peace that's just been formed, this organization that is, well, it's centered over there, but really, I mean, it has the potential to be in a worldwide governing organization. And, you know, our leader has picked, and he's the chairman of this, has picked already 10 different leaders to chair this, to be in this round table, if you will. 10. It says that in the Bible, there will be 10 kingdoms headed by the little horn, which is the Antichrist. Now, you can make what or who that is. You know, I'll leave you to that conclusion, your own personal conclusion. I think it all points to one person. And we have pastors and real, credible theologians and ministers all over the internet right now. And it seems like they're just either unwilling to acknowledge or say it, or they're just not seeing it. And it says that too, even the elect will be deceived in these days. And I think there's a mass deception even in the Christian community right now. I mean, like I said, I'm not a theologian. I'm not a credible authority on the Bible, but I know what it says. I've always been taught it. This is true that I have resisted it all my life. I mean, I've always believed in God, but the Bible stories, I did. I put that to the back burner. I just didn't really focus on it. Maybe I didn't even really give much credence to the validity of these Bible stories. They sounded a little bit fantastical or mythical to me, but I think we're at a time right now, all of us, this is something that we all need to really, really focus on right now. I think as we see these world events unfolding and all these specific events take shape on our headlines, it is becoming harder to dismiss by the day that we're watching something. And to be honest with you, if we are not seeing the Bible unfold, if the Bible narrative is fantasy, if it's not real, we're doomed. We are absolutely doomed. Because the path that we as a race, as humanity, mankind, the path that we keep marching further and further down, I think it only leads to a mutual, complete destruction of everything. Look at where we're going. I mean, we're not going backwards. We're never going back to the good old days. That's for sure. We're heading into some deep, dark, and traumatic timeline, a chasm. It's like we're falling into the abyss, and I don't think humans can find a solution. There's not a resolution to what we're seeing right now. Not with these wars, not with this odd and really damaging emergence of this technology and this global governance system that seems to be rising up right in front of us. I mean, I think it's slow enough and subtle enough to where a lot of people aren't connecting these dots, but I personally don't see how. Maybe a lot of people aren't paying attention. And at some point, it doesn't matter what you personally believe or if you have any belief system at all. What we're seeing does not hinge on whether you personally believe these things or not. It's happening. I mean, again, if you can come up with another reality-based conclusion, let me know, because I can't. And I'm a very, sane person. I'm a very logical person. I mean, in most instances, I need tangible proof, but I think that's what we're seeing right now is absolute tangible proof of these things. Previous generations of people, they had to believe through faith. And I think that we're in a generation where, yes, faith is definitely still important, but we're getting proof of this. Proof, not just with these diplomatic and these, governments and, our political wars and all these tensions, not that alone we could dismiss as, well, humans just aren't capable of communication or tolerance, or they can't achieve any kind of community. And that's for sure, not just in our political realm, but in our societies, people. I mean, look, just all around the world, really, everybody seems to be rising up in some sort of unrest or revolution right now. That's very prophetic too. We just do not know how to value one another anymore. I mean, in our own communities, if you don't align precisely with your neighbor's beliefs or their political leanings or their ideology, they want you eliminated. They don't want to tolerate you. They don't want to, cohabitate with you anymore. That's a thing of the past. Any kind of tolerance is gone. Any kind of community, that seems to be fiction or a thing of the past now. I mean, just look at our headlines. Every other day, there's some new random act of violence that is perpetrated on innocent people just because of their beliefs, their opinions, their political leanings. What are we seeing? What are we experiencing right now? I mean, I think it's a very dire concept to think that this is just a natural evolution of humanity. I mean, that's horrible. If that's the natural progression of humanity, and it seems like it is, then we're doomed if we don't have some sort of outside corrective measure that is going to come in here and set things right. Because look what we see rising right now with this one world religion, this one world government that seems to be forming with all these digital IDs and social credit scorings and digital currencies. People, we are heading into like a perpetual slavery system, a unified global system of absolute control. And it's not positive. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be, a happy ending. I don't see that coming. I mean, I don't think anybody can logically see some sort of resolution to any of this. The wars, this almost sinister emerging force. I mean, think about it. This new rising system of control, it's all being ran on, artificial intelligence. I mean, it's in the name, it's in the title. It's non-human. It's not from this paradigm. It's not from this reality. We are facing something very profound and honestly very prophetic. I don't know how else to really perceive anything that we're seeing. And then it's not just these political activities or these political developments that got me noticing these things. I mean, just look at our natural environment, our natural world around us. It seems to be in a direct response to all this human dysfunction. It seems like in a direct response, it's pushing back. It's signaling something. It's giving us a sign, a warning that we have been told to watch for. Like I said, at some point, if you haven't already, by faith or through force, I think every single one of us is going to be made to see that there is something happening right now. There's something going on, and it's definitely not business as usual. It's not like a seasonal eruption of, divisions or tensions. This is something different. It's bigger. It's definitely bigger. We're not seeing anything that our history books could even compare to. You know what I'm saying? It's very enormous and profound. Everything that we're seeing, it points to, well, we're at the end. And I think everyone needs to get ready for this. I mean, I don't mean get prepared. I mean, preparing that sort of alludes to the fact that you're going to be able to escape this, or you're going to be able to be unaffected by this. So I don't think that preparedness is a good word to use. That's not a good term that describes what we need to be. We need to just be ready for some very, very, very dark and hard times. If you think it's hard now, and let's be honest, most Americans, most people around the world right now are feeling some sort of squeeze, some sort of economic, financial squeeze, or, cultural squeeze, or ideological squeeze. There's, a lot of people right now that are embroiled in this war, and I don't think it stops there. This definitely doesn't end with Iran. We see that happening. All these other countries they're signaling that they're ready to join this fight in some form or fashion. We got China right now amassing and building up their nuclear and their defensive capabilities. They're circling Taiwan. We're obviously the United States has pledged to not let that happen. That's going to be another conflict and another part of this war, another region of war. I don't know. I think it's undeniably, and I find it so very hard to believe and accept that all these other people, they just do not have the ability to acknowledge or accept this. And I think I know why. It's if they choose to accept this, like me, then you're forced to do some massive, major self-reflection, and nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to admit that they need some sort of adjustment. And we all do. We're all faulty. We're all corrupt. We're all fallen. And I don't think most people want to, look in that mirror. They don't want to, conceptualize that they need some redemption. They need that grace. They need the king. They need it. I mean, me too. I have lived my whole life in a very self-serving way and many factors. I mean, I might not have been out there physically harming people and carrying out some kind of intentional mass damage or any kind of like devious, sinister, crimes of violence. But I have definitely hurt the people who love me most in most ways. I think most of us have. That's who we, at the very least, that's what we do harm to, is the people who love us most, with not just the things we do, but the things that we don't do. I mean, again, I'm not lecturing. I'm just saying, I'm just like one of you, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not too proud to acknowledge that there are things that I've done personally that I'm definitely not proud of. And I know that's true for everyone, not just most. I think that's true. I know that's true for everyone. But what I'm saying is right now, we're at that pivotal, that climatic moment in human history. I mean, we are seeing, to me, I think the turning point, and we're at the doorstep of the most horrific time in all of human history. I think that we're there. And it's not hard to come to that conclusion if you just look at what we're watching and you correlate that with what we've been told from men, prophets, thousands of years ago. They have perfectly predicted and prophesied exactly what we're seeing right now. And if that is all true, which I just don't think that's a debate anymore. Look what we're seeing. Not just the wars, like I said, but these natural anomalies, like all these massive record-breaking weather systems everywhere. Every year it's getting worse. Last year was devastating. We're already seeing the beginning of this new rain season cause massive catastrophic flooding. Hawaii yesterday was flooded, worse in 20 years. And I know people are saying, well, it's happened 20 years ago, but you got to look at the frequency and the amount of all these things that are just occurring across the globe. I mean, just the other day, we had all these historic weather, winter weather systems with, record-breaking snowfalls and blizzards alongside huge portions of the country being impacted by destructive and massive tornadoes. We have earthquakes all across this planet right now. I mean, look, I think the signs are undeniable. Look at the volcanoes. Every other day, we got some kind of reports of these massive, huge volcanoes that are erupting that have been dormant for thousands of years, all right in this, small frame of time, randomly erupting. That is a sign, people. That is an alarm to wake up, notice, pay attention, because this is happening. This is happening right now. Or think just about all these comets and these planetary alignments. Definitely not normal. Definitely not something that we have even ever seen, let alone rarely see. There's things that are happening that we've never seen, like these interstellar comets that they are now saying there's evidence, and NASA went dark on us about this. I mean, they cut off their cameras. They just went dark on this. But there's other astronomers, credible astronomers, that are saying that there's evidence that that comet, that 3I Atlas comet, is as big, if not bigger, than Earth. People, that's not normal. That's something that should be waking us up to. There's something going on right now in every aspect of our lives. Human, political, natural, spiritual, everything. Look at this alien disclosure that's definitely upon us right now. They're definitely about to reveal some sort of admission that we have interactions, or we're being visited, or there's kind of some kind of correlation with aliens. They're calling them interdimensional beings, though, not these little green men from Mars or some other faraway planet. Interdimensional. That right there is just a diffused terminology to tell you that these are spiritual beings, like angels, fallen angels. I really do believe that. Fallen angels are about to be announced to us, but they're going to use the more acceptable modern term of aliens. So we've changed this name from angels to aliens. That's really all it is. It's an adjustment to the verbiage to make it more acceptable and to distract and confuse and deceive people into accepting what this really is. We are seeing a returning of these watchers. I mean, that's in the book of Enoch, which is maybe it might not be, a part of the canon, the biblical canon, but it's definitely it's alluded to in the Bible. It's referenced in the Bible. This is a book that is definitely describing the times of Noah. And it says, like in the days of Noah, it'll be that way in the end times. We're watching that happen right now. Look at all these fireballs that are all over the planet, not just over Ohio like we seen the other day. They're everywhere. They're all over the planet. Just these massive, they don't look like meteors. I mean, they got a fiery tail and everything, and they could easily be explained as that, or, that's the excuse or the explanation that they're giving us, but they don't look like, typical meteors. I mean, we're watching something return, something emerge, something arrive, and it's everywhere. It's all over the planet. And not just that, look at all these crafts and these weird sightings in the skies, these honestly unexplainable cloud formation and lights and actual craft that seem to be just hovering above our cities. They're everywhere. They might not be played out in our mainstream media, although the media is. They are, reporting on these, alien disclosure, all these congressional hearings that they're having. People, this is official now. It's not science fiction anymore. This is on our headlines. These are in our halls of Congress. We are watching those days unfold right now. And look, we can't afford to be too proud or too cool to accept this. I know a lot of people, they don't want to at least openly acknowledge what they're seeing. They don't want to be ostracized from their circle or their communities, which I'm at a point in my life where I don't give a damn what other people think about my observances, my coming to belief, my coming to the acknowledgement that there's something definitely bigger than us, something beyond what we can conceptualize, that is really the origins of what we are and who we are and what we are to be. I think that we're watching that convergence right now. And I think we all need to come to that realization and be ready because it's coming. It's here. I don't see another outcome. I mean, just think about all these things that are coming to pass. If that is true, and it is, we see it, there's no debate. There's no debate on these things. I mean, these things are in our face. You can try to give me other conclusions or other narratives all you want. But if these things are true, then the things that are still yet to come, they must be true too. And as they do come, you're going to be foolish to not accept them. I mean, that's just straight up stubborn. The inability to accept the true reality of what everything is and what we're seeing. There's much more. There's much more. Our science cannot, and it doesn't. It's all theories. All of our science explanations, our hypotheses, all of our scientific, worldviews, they're all theories, and it's in the name. The theory of everything, the theory of relativity, everything, string theory, everything's a theory. Nothing is provable. What we're watching, I think, is absolute proof that this worldview, this reality that we're watching unfold right now, the biblical reality, the proof of God and the proof of Jesus, I think that is right now in our face. Again, I think we're living in a time that you don't have to rely on faith, which, again, I'm not discounting faith. I think it's a wonderful thing, but I think we're at a time where faith isn't all that we have. We have proof. It's happening right now. And as it gets closer, it's going to be even more evident. Like I said, the things that are coming are definitely much more profound and serious and tragic and, very hard for us to manage. They're coming. Like, the one world government, this beast system, the mark of the beast, which we see the framework for that, these digital currencies and, the ability for whoever's in charge to just turn it off if you're not behaving the way they want, or you're not keeping the company you want, or you're not pledging to the proper political alignments or whatever it may be. You're at the helm of whoever is in charge, they can just turn you off. Cancel your ability to sustain and provide for your loved ones. I mean, that could just be turned off. We're watching that happen right now, and that's spoken of. I mean, everything seems to be rising. I mean, the framework, the blueprint is laid bare, and we're all seeing it, and it's on us to acknowledge it and recognize and really accept that free gift of redemption and salvation that has been handed to us. I mean, but it's not automatic. You gotta believe, you gotta accept that. And then you gotta do your best to disperse it, which is what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I really don't care what my peers, what my childhood friends, what my circle thinks about. I mean, most of them, I come from a very active, colorful, secular group of, my close circle. We weren't some Christian body of buddies, and not many of them agree with me, but I just don't care. They're going to be forced to acknowledge it at some point. I just hope it's not too late. And I think that there is a point where it is going to be too late. To not accept or not align with any kind of master or king or sovereign is to pick the other side. I mean, to not accept, to not align is basically unconsciously choosing that other narrative or result. And I don't know. I think what we choose and where our alignments fit in life, I think that is going to be detrimental to not just this human experience that we're all in right now, but eternity, people. I think, look, the reality of things is we are here right now, and it's time to be ready for this. And like I said, do some soul searching, some self-reflection, and really take a better measurement of who we are. So Anyways, I'm going to leave that here for right now. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I need your help. Brand new here, and just your subscription and your likes, that does much more than you can, much more than to help me out on this. So we can watch this happen together, be a community of like-minded people and just watch this all unfold. But anyways, have a great day, in spite of everything that's going on. Have a good day. Stay safe. And until next time, thanks for watching.